All right, so what's up, everyone? So we're getting into it. So we're going in after our painting process, going in with the resin to where we're sealing and protecting, because these materials are already plastic, and I'm using liquid plastic. It's just going to thicken and solid, you know, make the existing plastic more solid, sturdy, and durable. So I have two videos to where I'm doing the front and I'm doing the back, and I'm going to show you the end results. So, I mean, these trays are very important to me, and as you can see, we have quite a few pieces, and there is another tray, excuse me, that I was working on a while back. And when I was doing the last portion of this video, I realized that the tray is not complete. So that is going to represent that there is something going on between me and an ancestor, specifically to where I need to work one-on-one personally with this individual behind the scenes. So each piece is going to represent an ancestor that I have been dealing with. So you pretty much already know that a lot of them are the women. They are upset because, they chose me, they wanted me. They already knew at birth that I was not going to fulfill their calling. But these women are so controlling and narcissistic, these ancestors. And this is a part of the healing process because a lot of them do not like men. And they use their powers, they use their gifts to define and go against men, to defeat men. And my thing is, I get it, but the abilities should be used to protect yourself, not to cause harm or danger just because you have the power and you can do it. So dealing with all of this resentment from these female ancestors, they just look at me in disgust. So for a long time throughout my life, it's like they have been punishing me. They felt betrayed because they gave me they told me, they said, well, we give you a mother that sets the example of an empowered woman. But my mom was slimy and abusive. She was not a good woman at all. And so what they consider to be a gift to me, they feel betrayed that I did not try to move in the direction of my mother and fulfill her footsteps. To just being this power hungry woman who don't care about nothing and nobody but herself, who's walking around here just narcissistic the fuck out and just wanting to control and abuse. It took for me and waking up and confronting them for them to realize who they truly are. And then on top of that, me standing up for myself during this art therapy session. I have a couple of other projects that I have worked on and that I will share after this video too. But me standing up for myself, they realize that what they thought was power is not actual power. And so this is why we are going in with this session with teaching and also with healing. Karmic debt, the debt must be paid. So there's nothing that I can do when it comes to their karma. And when we deal with the ancestors, these are the oppressed ones. These are the hurt ones. I tell people all the time because a lot of it has to do with racism. People want to be in pain and they want to hurt about what their ancestors did or what their ancestors went through, what they endured, how they suffered. But nobody wants to see it in the perception that, hey, your ancestors paved the way, they suffered so that you could be here today without suffering the way in which that they did. They need you to help heal them, not relive their memory. And there are some ancestors who are still upset. And so a lot of the times this has a lot to do with the warfare. I cannot stand racism, but one thing that I've learned, racism will never die. It will never go away. So there are some things that you have to accept that it will be what it is. But we must stay focused on us and healing us so that we can move forward and we can move our future forward. The best thing that we can do within a world that is so disturbing and damaged is to plant seeds of hope. So, it's kind of like a revolution. Revolutions play on for years. We just have to find a different way as to how to fight. I choose to fight for myself, for my freedom, for my liberation. They want to punish me for my desires as a woman this lifetime, even with me being who I am and my capabilities and my talents. So this is why we're doing these trains. I chose these trains because, I'm a housewoman and I love to serve. I love to be of service to my family, to my community. I'm not going to feel ashamed for that. I'm not going to feel bad for me. Throughout this process, it has been about me appreciating more of myself, because there has just been like a lot of back and forth, tug of war, push and pull, a lot of arguing, anger between, it seems to me as if, my ancestors don't even really want a real reconciliation. It's like they're still trying to negotiate for me to be what it is in which that they want me to be. And then they don't really stand a chance against the soul family, my spirit family, who has adopted me. They don't stand a chance. So what I say is law, and they know that. And so there's only so much that they can do. So they think that they can manipulate my energy and be able to cause some type of injustice or imbalance here in this situation. And it's like, no, I'm focused. I'm sorry that you have fucked up and you have hated me and you have tried to bring down and destroy the one person that you need. And even to this day, you cannot, you have so much ego and so much pride that you cannot see me. So my thing is, if they can't see me, well, then they just can't see me. I'm on a mission with them, and they're not going to take me off. They're not going to take me off focus, and they're not going to discourage me. So when it comes to these trays, I just feel like it's a good idea, because instead of being in and out of the refrigerator, and instead of like having to cook meals at a time, these trays can be used for so many things. A lot of them come with 2 pieces. So the thing is that with the 2 trays that you see closer to the camera, you can put ice in those trays, and then you put the other tray on top of the ice, which keeps whatever you have on the trays cool. So this is something that I learned throughout the day, because we eat a lot. We eat a lot, and this will also save on dishes. Because if you have like foods, like little finger foods, hors d'oeuvres or whatever, if you have those things out and available, individuals can just come to the table periodically throughout the day and just eat off of it. If there's something going on with flies, if a fly gets in the house, we can just cover it up. But for majority of the day, it's going to stay out. And if the ice melts, well, then we just refill it with more ice. Those deeper trays there with the multiple pockets, they're deep. So you can put ice at the bottom of those trays, and then you can put like fruits and vegetables on top. You could put a main dish in between. You can have your utensils on the side. You can have snacks in those pockets. Baby boy, he can just have that tray in his room set up, and he can just eat his snacks. And this will also help him with not eating up all the snacks, because food is also psychological, is what I learned as well. And I've said it before, like eating habits, health have a lot to do with wealth. Okay, so this is the container that I did before a while ago. This is my very first one. This was not a part of the session. This is the one that I'm going to be working with one-on-one. So as you can see the bottom there, right, we did not paint the bottom of that, and it's not resin, so we have to go in with that. But the rest of these trays, these are the end product, and I just wanted to show you. I just wanted to show you. And of course, I don't put these in a dishwasher, but these are easy to clean as well. So once they're, and you can store them too. So, easy to clean, easy to use, easy to recycle. Okay, so that's like a little dipping tray there. I got some plastic up there. I thought it was like paper or something, but it was just the plastic from the bag. So, that's pretty much it. These are the deep trays that I was talking about, to where my son can just hold it in his room and put his snacks up there or whatever. Okay, but this is going to be the conclusion of our healing ancestral trauma, and it has been a journey. And I want you to know that when it comes to healing and when it comes to forgiveness is not about two parties coming together, because as you can see, my ancestors are in too much, well, you can hear when I talk about them, they're in too much pain to be able to forgive, to move on, and to reconcile. Okay? But I am. And this session is about planting the seeds, because individuals must do the work. What is done has already been done, and there will be consequences for the actions that have been done and taken against me. And that's just what it is. I do what I can in this situation, which is planting the seeds to their healing. We have an opposing ancestral family, and those individuals, they don't have a healer in their family. And what they are manifesting for themselves, for their consequences, well, they're just adding more to their karmic debt. They're adding more to their consequences. So when we're in pain, we cannot see what we have to be grateful for. Even though I have done this session, it's still not enough for them. But over time, because the seed, somebody's going to come along, water the seed, and give that seed sunlight. And when they do, then my ancestors can work on freeing themselves once, for sure, we'll say. And my ancestors, these women, they can go from ancestral to goddess. Because there is no balance, there is no harmony within them. It's just like hate and pain, dominance, control, just a bunch of narcissism, whatever. People are going to be people. You cannot change the past. You cannot change people. And you cannot change what is to come. So we are grateful for where we come from. We are grateful for where we are at, how far we have come thus far, and we look forward to the future. Okay? Remember to love you. Love you wholeheartedly. My whole life I've dealt with people trying to tell me who and how to be. With my gifts and my talents, people always look at me as if I'm supposed to be doing what they think that I'm supposed to be doing. But I'm going to tell you, I never listened to anybody, and when I did, they stirred me in the wrong direction. So when I stopped listening and when I began to seek answers from within, I found out that what people wanted me to be doing, I would have been lowballing myself. I would have never discovered these abilities that I have spiritually. I would have spent my whole life, chasing down, when in all actuality, I had a whole inheritance waiting for me. All I had to do was fight for it, stand up for it. And now everybody with their grand ideas for me, everybody's sitting around looking stupid, still stuck in the same place, thinking that they had so much to prove to me. So when I say love yourself, love yourself. Until the next time, we'll talk again. Thank you.